The auditorium fell silent as Han Minji walked across the stage. Every eye in the Terran Intelligence Academy watched her accept the gold medal, the highest honor given in the Academy's 30-year history. Her scores had broken every record. Perfect marks in alien psychology, code-breaking, tactical thinking, and field work. The instructors had never seen anything like her. Minji stood at the podium and looked out at the crowd. Her parents sat in the front row, tears in their eyes. Her classmates clapped, though some looked jealous. She had beaten them all. But Minji felt no pride. She felt only determination. Earth had joined the Galactic Council 5 years ago, and everyone in the galaxy treated humans like children. Weak, stupid, primitive. She would change that dot after the ceremony. People crowded around her. They wanted to shake her hand and take pictures. Minji smiled politely, but her mind was already on the future. Where would they send her? What missions would she get? Then she saw him. A tall man in a dark suit pushed through the crowd. His face was hard, weathered. This was Director Kang Daeho, head of the Galactic Security Coordination. Everyone knew his name. "Miss Han," he said, "we need to talk." They went to a private room. Kang sat down across from her and pulled out a tablet. "You're good," he said. "The best student we've ever had. But do you know what the aliens think of us?" "They think we're primitive," Minji said. "Worse than that? They think we're useless." Kang turned the tablet toward her. It showed statistics. Human agents had the lowest success rate in the GSC. Other species wouldn't share information with them. Humans were given simple jobs, boring jobs, jobs nobody else wanted. The Velkrin use telepathy. They read minds. The Anther Collective shares thoughts across millions of bodies. They work as one brain. Other species have genetic memories or computer-enhanced thinking. And us? We're just humans. Then why did they let us join? Minji asked. Politics. Earth has resources they want, but they don't respect us. They never will unless we prove ourselves. Kang leaned forward. I'm building a new division. Human intelligence. We'll work differently. We'll use what makes us unique. What makes us unique? Minji asked. We lie better than anyone in the galaxy. We improvise. We think as individuals. We have intuition. Every alien species relies on logic, networks, or telepathy. They can't understand deception. They can't predict chaos. But we can. Kang smiled. I want you to lead a team. Show the galaxy what humans can do. Minji felt her heart race. This was exactly what she wanted. What's the first mission? There's a case. A smuggling ring. They've been operating for 3 years. They hit targets across 12 systems. Alien intelligence agencies have tried everything. The Velkrin sent telepaths to scan for criminal thoughts. Nothing. The Anther Collective used probability calculations. Failed. Other species threw millions of credits at the problem. The smugglers always stay ahead. Kang pulled up files on the tablet. Every species has given up. They say it's impossible. You have 72 hours to solve it. Minji took the tablet and looked at the data. 3 years of reports. Hundreds of agents. Thousands of hours of work. All failures. If I solve this, what happens? You get respect. Humans get respect. We get real missions, not garbage. Kang stood up. But if you fail, it proves what they already think. That humans don't belong in intelligence work. Minji looked at the data again. The pressure was enormous. Her first real mission, and it was impossible. But she smiled. When do I start? Now. Your team is waiting at GSC headquarters. You leave tonight. 6 hours later, Minji stood in a cramped office on the orbital station that housed GSC headquarters. The station was massive, home to agents from all 47 species in the Galactic Council. The human section was small and isolated. Other species refused to work near humans. They said humans smelled wrong, thought wrong, felt wrong. A young woman sat at a desk covered in computer screens. Agent Han? I'm Lee Soo-yoon. I'll be your data specialist. Soo-yoon looked nervous. I've read your file. You're really impressive. Thank you. Show me what we have. For the next 2 hours, they reviewed everything. The smugglers hit spaceports, cargo ships, and warehouses. They stole valuable goods and vanished. Security cameras caught nothing useful. The pattern seemed random. Alien analysts had used every tool available. Pattern recognition software, probability matrices, telepathic resonance tracking. Nothing worked. Minji stared at the timeline of attacks. Something bothered her. Soo-yoon, pull up the predictions. Which ones? All of them. Every prediction made by alien intelligence agencies. Soo-yoon typed rapidly. Dozens of files appeared. The Velkrin had predicted 17 possible attack locations. The smugglers had hit none of them. The Anther Collective had calculated probability curves. Wrong every time. Other agencies had tried similar methods. Same results. They're always wrong, Minji said quietly. Well, yes. That's why the case is unsolved. No, look at this. Minji highlighted the data. The smugglers don't just avoid predicted locations. They always hit when alien intelligence predicts they won't. Every single time. That's not random. That's deliberate. Soo-yoon frowned. You think they're lucky? No, I think they know what the predictions are. Minji felt excitement building. Someone inside the intelligence agencies is leaking information. The smugglers get the predictions and do the opposite. That's impossible. Alien species don't have individual corruption. The Velkrin share thoughts. They'd know if one of them betrayed the group. The Anther Collective is networked. One corrupt node would be obvious. Would it? Minji pulled up organizational charts. What if the mole isn't part of the core network? What if it's a peripheral node? Someone with access, but not full integration? Soo-yoon's eyes widened. I never thought of that. Alien agencies probably didn't either. They don't think in terms of individual betrayal. Minji worked through the night. She cross-referenced access logs with attack timings. She looked for anomalies in data requests. She used human intuition, looking for what felt wrong rather than what the computer said was wrong. At dawn, she found it. A mid-level Anther node had accessed prediction data hours before each attack. The node had also received encrypted communications from unknown sources. That's our mole, Minji said. She took her findings to her supervisor, Commander Vex Thal, a Velkrin with silver skin and large dark eyes. He looked at her report with clear skepticism. You've been on this case for 1 day, Agent Han. Experienced analysts worked for years, and they failed because they didn't understand individual corruption. Your species shares thoughts. You can't comprehend one person betraying the group. But humans? We understand betrayal very well. Vex Thal's eyes narrowed. Even if you're correct, predictions are useless now. The smugglers will know we found the mole. So we use that. We feed false information through the mole. We predict the smugglers will hit Station 12. They'll see the prediction and hit somewhere else. But we'll be waiting at that somewhere else. You're suggesting we manipulate our own intelligence network? I'm suggesting we think like criminals. Like individuals. Like humans. Minji met his gaze. Give me a chance. If I'm wrong, I'll resign. Vex Thal considered for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. 72 hours, Agent Han. Minji set the trap. False predictions went through the compromised node. The smugglers took the bait. When they hit Station 9, Minji's team was waiting. The arrest was clean. 30 smugglers captured. Millions in stolen goods recovered. And the mole was exposed. Director Kong called her into his office. The council is impressed. You solved a 3-year-old case in 4 days using methods no alien considered. You've proven humans belong here. Minji felt relief flood through her. But Kong's expression remained serious. That was a test, Minji. The real work starts now. There's a terrorist organization. They've killed thousands across 3 worlds. Every alien agency has tried to infiltrate them. All failed. They detect telepaths. They hack networked minds. They identify genetic markers. Kong slid a file across his desk. You're going undercover. Deep cover. You'll become one of them. And you'll stop them before they strike again. Minji picked up the file. Her hands trembled slightly. This was what she had trained for. What she had dreamed of. But it was also terrifying. She looked up at Kong. When do I leave? Tomorrow. And Minji? Don't get lost in the role. Remember who you are. Remember you're human. The training room was cold and dark. Nam Yuna stood in the center, watching Minji with hard eyes. You're not Han Minji anymore. Say your name. Han Sola, Minji replied. Why did you leave Earth? I hate the Galactic Council. They treat humans like pets. Like we're stupid children who need protection. Again, with more anger. Minji clenched her fists. I hate the Galactic Council. We should never have joined them. Earth was better alone. Yuna nodded. Better. You need to believe it. When you go undercover, you can't pretend. You have to become Han Sola. You have to live as her. Think as her. Hate as her. She walked closer. The Void Talon terrorist cell kills people. Thousands of innocent lives. If they suspect you for 1 second, you're dead. And the mission fails. For 3 weeks, Minji trained. She learned a new history. Han Sola grew up on Earth during first contact. She saw humans treated as inferior. She watched alien species take Earth's resources while giving nothing back. She became bitter, angry, violent, Minji. Memorized every detail until Han Sola felt real. Park Ji-won created a digital identity. False records. Fake criminal history. Social media accounts stretching back years. This is good work, he said. If they investigate you, they'll find everything they expect to find. A human who hates the council. Perfect recruitment material. Director Kong gave her the final briefing. Void Talon operates on frontier stations. They recruit people who feel abandoned by the council. Their leader is Kal Resh, a Thulanari who believes technology-based species should rule the galaxy. He thinks biological species like humans are useful tools. Nothing more. Kong's expression was grave. You'll be alone out there, Minji. No backup. No extraction if things go wrong. Once you're in, you're committed. I understand. No, you don't. Not yet. But you will. Kong handed her a small device. Emergency beacon. Use it only if you're about to die. It'll bring help, but it'll also burn your cover and end the mission. Choose carefully. The frontier station was a mess of rusted metal and failing lights. Dozens of species lived here, far from council protection. Crime was common. Violence was normal. This was where people came when they had nowhere else to go. Minji sat in a bar, drinking something that tasted like acid. She wore worn clothes and carried a gun on her hip. Han Sola had arrived. A woman sat down across from her. Human, dark hair, suspicious eyes. "You're new here. Just passing through," Minji said. "No one passes through Station Kilos. You come here because you're hiding or because you're looking for something." The woman leaned forward. "Which is it?" "Both," the woman smiled. "I'm Chai Yunbi. I think we might be able to help each other." Over the next week, Yunbi introduced Minji to others who shared her supposed beliefs. People who hated the Galactic Council. People who wanted change, even if that change meant violence. They talked about council corruption, about how frontier stations were ignored, about how humans deserved better. Minji agreed with everything, playing her role perfectly. Finally, Yunbi took her to a hidden room deep in the station. 20 people waited there, different species, all armed. At the center stood Kalresh. He was tall, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. His eyes were bright yellow. He looked at Minji like she was an interesting insect. "Han Sola," he said. "Yunbi tells me you hate the council. I do. Why?" "Because they use Earth. They take our resources, our people, our technology. They give us nothing but contempt." Minji let anger fill her voice. "Humans are treated like servants. Like we're not good enough to stand beside aliens as equals." "And what would you do about it?" Kalresh asked. "Whatever it takes to change things." Kalresh smiled. "We are Void Talon. We strike at the Council's foundations. We show them that their control is an illusion. We fight for a galaxy where the strong lead and the weak serve." He walked around her. "But we must be careful. The Council has tried to infiltrate us many times. Velcrin telepaths. Anther spies. Genetic agents. We detected them all. How do I know you're not a spy?" "Test me," Minji said. "Oh, I will." The test came 3 days later. Kalresh gave her an assignment. A small mission. Break into a council data center and steal files. Simple for someone with Minji's training. She succeeded easily. But she made sure to do it Han Solo's way. Rough, violent, leaving evidence of anger rather than precision. Kalresh was pleased. "You have skills, Han Solo. We can use you." Minji became part of Void Talon. She attended meetings. She helped plan operations. She learned their methods. Then slowly, she started to understand why alien intelligence had failed. Void Talon didn't work like alien organizations. There was no telepathic network to hack, no genetic markers to track, no predictable patterns. They operated like a human criminal group. Individual cells, personal loyalty, deception built into everything they did. One member watched her constantly. Jin Taekwon. He was human, about her age, and clearly suspicious. He asked her questions, probed her background, tested her knowledge. Minji answered carefully, staying in character. But Taekwon was smart. "Too smart. You're good at this work," he said one day. "I learn fast. Too fast. You fight like someone with military training. You think tactically. You're careful with your words." Taekwon leaned closer. "Who are you really?" "I'm Han Solo. Just another human who's tired of being treated like garbage. Maybe. Or maybe you're something else." But he didn't report her. Not yet. 2 months into her mission, Kalresh called a meeting. The Council holds a supply depot on Station Valum. It stores weapons, medical supplies, equipment for frontier security forces. We're going to destroy it. Show the Council they can't protect even their own installations. Minji's blood ran cold. When? 3 days. Han Solo, you'll lead the demolition team. That night, Minji used her hidden communicator. She sent an encrypted message to Park Ji-won. Station, Valum. 3 days. Bombing. But then she discovered something terrible. Kim Woojin, A GSC analyst would be at the depot. An inspection. He'd be there when the bomb went off. She couldn't warn him directly. Any unusual communication would expose her. But she couldn't let an innocent person die, especially not another human. Minji made a choice. She adjusted the timer on the explosives, added a delay mechanism, made it look like a technical modification to improve the blast. But really, it would give Wujin time to evacuate the night before the operation. She sent an anonymous message through multiple encrypted channels. A warning about a security threat at Station Valum, just enough to trigger an evacuation without revealing the source. The next morning, Taekwon confronted her. You changed the bomb timer. I made it more reliable. No, you delayed it. Why? Minji met his eyes. She was caught. Time for the truth. Because I'm not a murderer. I'll fight the council, but I won't kill innocent people. You're an agent, Taekwon said quietly. You're GSC. If you believe that, report me. They stood in silence. Finally, Taekwon shook his head. I won't. Because I'm tired of this too. Void Talon says they fight for justice. But all they do is kill. Civilians. People who have nothing to do with council politics. Children. He looked away. I joined because I believed in changing things. But this isn't change. It's just violence. Then help me stop them. I can't. They'll kill me if I turn traitor. My family is on a frontier station. They'll target them. We can protect your family. GSC can relocate them. Taekwon laughed bitterly. The same GSC that treats humans like inferior species? The same council that ignores frontier stations? Why would they protect one human family? Because not everyone in the council is corrupt. Because there are people trying to make things better. Let me help you. He thought for a long moment. Then he nodded. What do you need? Information. Void Talon's next big target. Something worth all this undercover work. There is something. Cal Resh has been planning it for months. But he only shares details with his inner circle. Taekwon paused. There's a council summit in 3 weeks. Representatives from all 47 species. Cal Resh wants to kill them all. Minji felt ice in her veins. An attack on the summit would start a war. Different species would blame each other. The council would collapse. How? I don't know the full plan. But Cal Resh chose you for something important. He trusts you now. He'll tell you soon. The next day, the bombing happened. The explosives detonated. The depot was destroyed. But everyone had evacuated safely. Kim Wujin lived. Cal Resh was furious that there were no casualties, but he couldn't prove sabotage. The delayed timer looked like normal explosive behavior. 2 days later, Cal Resh called Minji to a private meeting. The summit attack is our greatest operation. It will change everything. And you, Han Solo, will lead part of it. What do you need me to do? Infiltrate the security systems. Disable their defenses. Make the summit vulnerable. He smiled. You're human. You can lie to their scanners. You can go where others can't. This is your chance to strike at the council that rejected your people. Minji nodded. But inside, her mind raced. She had 48 hours before they moved to the summit station. 48 hours to get intelligence to GSC without exposing herself. 48 hours to stop an assassination that would kill thousands and destroy the fragile. Peace between species. She sent another encrypted message. But this time, she included everything. The full plan. The target. The timeline. And one more thing. A request. Don't extract me. I need to stop this from the inside. Trust me. Park Ji-won's response came hours later. We trust you. But if you die, I'm killing Director Kong for approving this mission. Minji smiled at that. Then she prepared for the hardest part of her mission, stopping a terrorist attack while everyone believed she was a terrorist, and doing it without getting killed by either side. The summit station was beautiful. Crystal spires reached toward the stars. Gardens from 100 worlds grew in artificial atmospheres. Representatives from 47 species walked the halls, discussing peace and cooperation. Soon, if Minji failed, it would all become a graveyard. She arrived with Taekwon, both disguised as maintenance workers. Their false credentials were perfect. Park Ji-won had created them using GSC access codes. To any scanner, they looked legitimate. Minji carried tools and diagnostic equipment. Hidden in the equipment were weapons, explosives, everything Void Talon needed. Security checkpoint ahead, Taekwon whispered. 3 guards. 2 Velkrin, 1 Anther node. The Velkrin guards could read surface thoughts. If Minji's mind showed fear or deception, they'd detect it. But she had trained for this. She thought about maintenance work, about schedules and repair orders. She filled her head with boring technical details. Han Solo didn't fear security. Han Solo belonged here. Purpose of visit? The first guard asked. Environmental system maintenance, Minji said. Level 7 had temperature fluctuations yesterday. The Velkrin's eyes went distant. He was scanning her thoughts. Minji kept thinking about temperature sensors and cooling systems. After a moment, he nodded. Proceed. They entered the restricted section. Minji's heart pounded, but her hands were steady. She opened a maintenance panel and pretended to work while actually accessing the security grid. Her fingers moved quickly. She disabled cameras, rerouted alarms, created blind spots. But she also did something else, something Kalrush didn't know about. She rerouted the defensive systems to backup controls, made it look like they were disabled, but really just moved them to where GSC could access them. Taekwon watched the corridor. How much longer? 2 minutes. Minji finished the last bypass. Done. Void Talon can enter through Service Bay 3. Defenses are down. Except they weren't. Not really. When GSC stormed the station, they'd have full control. But Kalrush would never know until it was too late. They returned to the safe house where Void Talon prepared. 15 operatives. Different species. All armed and ready. Kalrush stood before a holographic map of the summit station. Tomorrow, the council meets to discuss frontier security. They'll talk about protecting their interests while frontier stations starve. They'll congratulate themselves on their unity while treating some species like animals. His yellow eyes blazed. We'll show them the price of their arrogance. He pointed to the map. Team 1 enters through Service Bay 3. Team 2 through the cargo entrance. We converge on the main chamber. Take the delegates hostage. Then we broadcast our demands. If the council doesn't dissolve itself and grant frontier independence, we execute 1 delegate every hour. Minji felt sick. This wasn't just an attack. It was torture. A slow massacre broadcast across the galaxy. Han Solo, you're with Team 1, Kalrush said. You proved yourself with the security systems. Now prove yourself with action. He handed her a weapon. When we take hostages, you'll choose the first to die. Show us your commitment. That night, Minji barely slept. She reviewed the plan. GSC knew the attack was coming. They'd evacuated most non-essential personnel. But the delegates had to stay. If they evacuated, Void Talon would know something was wrong. They'd scatter and plan another attack. No, the delegates had to be there, vulnerable. To draw the terrorists in Dat Choi, Hyen led the GSC tactical team, hidden throughout the station. Park Ji-won controlled the computer systems remotely. Lee Soo-yoon coordinated intelligence. Even Commander Vexthal had volunteered for the operation. The Velkrin who once doubted humans now trusted Minji with his life, but Minji would be inside with the terrorists. When the fighting started, she'd be in the crossfire. One wrong move and she'd die, shot by terrorists for betraying them, or shot by GSC forces who couldn't identify her in the chaos. The attack began at dawn. Team 1 moved through Service Bay 3 exactly as planned. No alarms, no resistance. They reached the main chamber and burst through the doors. Delegates screamed. Security guards reached for weapons, but were shot down immediately. Within 30 seconds, Void Talon controlled the chamber. Kalresh entered with Team 2. He walked to the center of the room, weapon raised. Nobody move. You are hostages of Void Talon. We demand the immediate dissolution of the Galactic Council and independence for all frontier stations. You have 1 hour to comply. The delegates huddled together. 47 species. Hundreds of years of cooperation. All threatened by 15 terrorists and their weapons. To show we're serious, Kalresh said, we'll execute one hostage now. A demonstration of our resolve. He turned to Minji. Han Sola, choose. Every eye turned to her. Terrorists watching to see if she'd follow through. Delegates hoping she'd refuse. Minji's mind raced. She had to maintain her cover. But she couldn't kill anyone. Not now. Not when GSC was about to strike. She walked forward slowly. Looked at the terrified delegates. Then she noticed something. One delegate wasn't terrified. A Velkrin ambassador. He sat calmly, his dark eyes meeting hers. She recognized him. Ambassador Thelvorin. He'd worked with GSC before. He knew what was happening. Minji pointed her weapon at him. This one. Thelvorin stood. He walked forward with dignity. Telepathic species didn't fear death the same way others did. Their thoughts lived on in their people. But still, his sacrifice meant something. Minji raised her weapon. Her finger touched the trigger. 1 second. 2 seconds. She couldn't do it. Do it, Kalresh commanded. Taekwon stepped forward. I'll do it. He walked to Minji, whispered in Korean, get ready to run. Then he turned and shot Kalresh instead. Chaos exploded. Terrorists spun toward Taekwon. Minji dropped her disguise and activated the defensive systems she'd secretly preserved. Barriers slammed down, separating terrorists from hostages. Stun weapons deployed from hidden panels. GSC forces stormed the chamber from 3 directions. Gunfire filled the air. Minji dove behind a pillar. A terrorist spotted her and fired. The shots missed by inches. She returned fire, years of training taking over. Hit him in the shoulder. He went down. More terrorists fell to GSC weapons. But they fought back hard. 2 GSC agents were hit. 1 delegate died in the crossfire, despite the barriers. Choi Ha-yen appeared beside Minji. Good work, kid. Let's finish this. Together they advanced. Park Ji-won had locked down escape routes. The terrorists were trapped. One by one they surrendered or fell. Kalresh tried to fight his way out, but Commander Vexthal stunned him with a telepathic attack. The rebellion collapsed within 5 minutes. Minji looked for Taekwon. She found him near the entrance. He was on the ground, blood spreading across his chest. She ran to him, dropped to her knees. No, medical. I need medical. Taekwon looked up at her. His eyes were distant. Did we stop them? Yes, you stopped them. Good, he coughed. Tell the council. Tell them some humans still believe in something. Not everyone who questions the system is evil. Some of us just want fairness. You'll tell them yourself. Stay with me. But his eyes closed. Medical teams rushed in, but Minji knew. She'd seen death before. Taekwon had sacrificed himself to save the summit. A man who joined terrorists because he believed in change. Who realized violence wasn't the answer. Who died protecting the system he once hated. The aftermath took hours. Bodies were removed. Wounded were treated. Delegates were evacuated to safe locations. The station became a crime scene, swarming with investigators. Director Kang found Minji sitting alone in a corridor. Blood on her clothes. Exhaustion in every line of her body. "You did it," he said. "You stopped the attack. Saved hundreds of lives. Taekwon did it. He's the hero. You both are." Kang sat beside her. "The council is calling an emergency session. They want to thank you personally. You're famous now, Minji. Everyone in the galaxy knows your name. I don't want to be famous. I want this to mean something." Taekwon died believing the council could change, could treat frontier stations better, could give people like him hope. Minji looked at Kang. "Can it?" "I don't know. But we can try to make it happen." The next day, the Galactic Council held its emergency session. Minji stood before them, still wearing her blood-stained clothes. She hadn't changed, hadn't cleaned up. She wanted them to see the cost of their policies. Representative after representative praised her, called her courageous, heroic. The Velcrin delegate whose life she'd almost taken personally thanked her. Commander Vex Thal spoke about human capabilities and how they'd underestimated Earth, but one representative didn't congratulate her. Ko Dongwoo, Earth's senior representative, looked angry. "Agent Han acted recklessly," he said, "going undercover without full council approval, operating outside established protocols." She's lucky it worked. Something about his tone bothered Minji, his body language, the way he refused to meet her eyes. She'd spent months reading people, detecting lies, seeing through deception. Every instinct screamed that Ko Dongwoo was hiding something. After the session, Director Kang pulled her aside. His face was grave. "We have a problem. Ko Dongwoo, how did you know?" "Intuition?" Minji frowned. "What's wrong with him?" Kang showed her a data tablet. We traced Void Talon's finances. They had major funding. Millions of credits from shell corporations. Park Ji-won broke through the encryption. He paused. The money came from inside the council itself. A council member funded terrorists? Not just one. Multiple members. Different species. They're organized. They call themselves the primacy. They believe only advanced technological or telepathic species should lead the galaxy. Biological, individual-minded species like humans are considered inferior. Contamination. Minji felt cold. They funded Void Talon to create chaos, and to blame it on human incompetence. If the attack had succeeded, they'd have used it as justification to expel Earth from the Council. Maybe other species, too. Kang met her eyes. Ko Dongwoo is part of the primacy. We think he's been working against Earth's interests for years. Why would a human betray humanity? Power. They promised him status, control, a chance to be on the winning side when they purged the undesirables. Kang's voice was hard. But here's the worst part. We think they're planning something bigger. The summit attack was just a test. A trial run. The real operation is coming. When? We don't know. Could be weeks. Could be days. But they won't stop until they control the council completely. Kang put his hand on her shoulder. I need you for this mission, Nanji. You just saved the council. Now you need to save it again. Minji thought about Taekwon, about his death, about his hope that things could change. If the primacy succeeded, his sacrifice meant nothing. The Council would become exactly what he feared. A system where only certain species mattered, where power came before justice. She looked at Director Kong and nodded. What do you need me to do? 3 weeks after the summit attack, everything changed. Minji was famous now. Her face appeared on news broadcasts across 47 worlds. The human who saved the Galactic Council. The agent who stopped terrorists. She received awards, honors, speaking invitations. But she couldn't do undercover work anymore. Everyone knew who she was. Director Kong gave her a new assignment. You're now the official liaison for human intelligence. You'll work with council representatives, attend diplomatic functions, coordinate between GSC and council security. That's not investigation work, Minji said. It's cover. The primacy doesn't know we've discovered them. They think Void Talon was just terrorists. While you play diplomat, you'll actually be hunting traitors. Kang introduced her to a new team. This is Yoon Min Seo, political analyst. She understands council politics better than anyone. And this is Bei Jinhuan, forensic data specialist. If there's hidden information, he'll find it. Min Seo was sharp-eyed and cautious. Jinhuan was quiet but intense. Both looked at Minji with respect and nervousness. Working with a celebrity agent was intimidating. We have a list of suspects, Min Seo said, pulling up files. 17 council members with suspicious financial activity. 8 different species. Some are probably innocent. But the primacy is hiding among them. How do we narrow it down? Minji asked. Human methods, Jinhuan said. Alien investigators look at data patterns, probability, logic. But humans look at psychology, motivation. Who benefits from destabilizing the council? Who has reasons to want certain species expelled? For weeks they investigated. Minji attended diplomatic receptions, smiled and made speeches, all while watching suspects. She noticed how Ko Dongwu interacted with certain representatives, how they exchanged glances, how conversations stopped when others approached. The primacy thought they were being careful, but they didn't understand that humans could read body language, detect subtle deception, see patterns in behavior that computer analysis missed. Park Ji-won worked on the technical side. He traced financial transactions through layers of encryption. The primacy uses shell corporations on 12 worlds. Money moves through them like water. But there's a pattern. Small amounts from different sources all converging on one account. And that account is registered to a council security contractor. Which one? Minji asked. Helios Station Security. They provide guards for council facilities, access to restricted areas, security clearances for council members. Park Ji-won's expression was grim. They've been compromised for at least 2 years, maybe longer. Choi Hai-in was put under investigation. Someone leaked information suggesting human agents were involved with Void Talon. It was a lie, a distraction, but it worked. Half the GSC turned against their own human division. Morale collapsed. Agents questioned each other. Trust evaporated. This is what the primacy wants, Minji said at an emergency team meeting. They're turning us against each other, making us weak. How do we fight back? Min Seo asked. We find proof. Undeniable evidence. Something even the primacy can't explain away. Minji looked at Jinhuan. You said money flows to Helios Station Security. Can you trace it back to the source? I've been trying. The encryption is sophisticated, but I'm close. Give me 2 more days. Commander Vex Thal became an unexpected ally. After the summit attack, he'd started questioning his assumptions about humans. Now he worked with Minji openly, sharing Velcrin intelligence resources. My people detected telepathic anomalies at recent council sessions, he said. Someone is using illegal telepathic blocks, preventing mental scanning. The primacy members, Minji said. Likely. But telepathic blocks are expensive, difficult to obtain. Only 3 manufacturers in the galaxy produce them. I'm requesting customer records. Vexthal paused. Many of my people still don't trust humans. But I've learned something. Your species sees what we miss. Your individual thinking, your ability to deceive and detect deception, your intuition. These aren't weaknesses. They're strengths. 2 days later, Xinhuan broke the encryption. I've got it. The financial trail leads to 3 council members working together. Ambassador Thelvorin, the Velkrin, Counselor Nathari from the Anther Collective, and Representative Ko Dongwu. Wait, Minji said. Thelvorin? But I almost shot him. I thought he was with GSC. Maybe that was his cover. Make himself look like a victim to avoid suspicion. Xinhuan pulled up more data. But there's more. These 3 are just coordinators. The primacy is much bigger. At least 20 council members. Different species. All working to purge what they call inferior species from the council. Minseo studied the organizational chart. They're planning something for the next full council session. That's in 4 days. Every representative will be there. Another attack? Minji asked. Worse, they're going to stage a coup. Kill key council leaders and blame it on human incompetence. Use it as justification to expel Earth and other biological species. Then they'll restructure the council with only themselves in charge. Director Kong was arrested the next day. The primacy moved fast. False evidence appeared showing he'd funded Void Talon. His accounts were frozen. He was detained pending investigation. It was all lies, but the damage was done. GSC leadership was compromised. Human agents were recalled from active duty. The investigation was shut down. Minji stood in her apartment, staring at the news broadcasts. Kong's face on every screen. The man who'd given her a chance, who believed in human potential. Now destroyed by the primacy's manipulation, Park Ji-won sent her an encrypted message. They're shutting us down. All human intelligence operations suspended. We're done. She replied immediately. No, we're going rogue. That night, 5 people met in a hidden location. Minji, Park Ji-won, Lee Soo-yoon, Yoon Min-seo, and Bei Jin-hwan. Choi Hai-yan arrived last. I'm officially suspended, he said. But I'm not sitting this out. If we're going down, we go down fighting. We're not going down, Minji said. We're going to expose the primacy at the council session. In front of everyone. With proof they can't deny. They'll arrest us before we get close, Soo-hyun said. Not if we have help. Minji activated a communication device. Commander Vexthal's face appeared. Commander, I need to ask something difficult. I know what you need, Vexthal said. Access to the council chamber. Security clearance. Official support. You want me to risk my career and my people's reputation to help humans who are currently under investigation. Yes. Vexthal was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. The Velkrin have a saying. Truth has no species. I'll get you into that chamber. The rest is up to you. The council session began with formal speeches. Representatives from 47 species discussed trade agreements, security protocols, and diplomatic relations. Ko Dongwu sat with the Earth delegation, looking confident. Thelvorin and Netheri sat in their respective sections. The primacy was scattered throughout the chamber. Hidden in plain sight, Minji entered through a service entrance, using credentials Vexthal provided. Her team followed. They carried no weapons, just data tablets containing evidence, and one broadcast device that would transmit everything to every world in the council. Simultaneously, the session speaker was discussing frontier security when Minji walked onto the main floor. Guards moved to stop her, but Vexthal stepped forward. This human has evidence of a conspiracy within the council. Let her speak. The chamber erupted in confusion. Representatives shouted questions. Ko Dongwu stood up. This is a violation of protocol. Agent Han is under investigation. Remove her immediately. I'm under investigation because the primacy wants me silenced, Minji said loudly. Just like they arrested Director Kong. Just like they suspended human operations. They're afraid of what we've discovered. This is absurd, Thelvorin said. Remove this human before she embarrasses herself further. Minji activated her tablet. The primacy is a conspiracy of council members who believe only certain species deserve representation. Telepathic species. Networked consciousness species. Advanced technological species. They think biological, individual-minded species like humans are contamination. They funded Void Talon to create chaos. They're planning a coup today. We can try. It won't stop them, but it will slow them down. That's all we need. Slowing them down while council reinforcements arrive. Minji turned to Choi Hien. You and I will lead the defense teams. Ru, your security forces will work with us. Everyone has a role. The attack came at dawn. 15 ships launched assault teams. Heavily armed, professional, they breached the station and moved toward the depot. Minji's people fought a running retreat, making it look desperate. Leading the attackers deeper, the Renaissance soldiers were confident. They outnumbered the defenders 3-1. They had better weapons, better training. Victory seemed certain. Then Park Ji-won activated the trap. He'd spent hours hacking the station's environmental systems. Now he used them as weapons. Doors sealed, trapping soldiers in sections. Gravity fluctuated, making it impossible to aim accurately. Lights went out, plunging corridors into darkness. Human and alien defenders had thermal goggles. The attackers didn't. Vexthal and the Velcrin agents created telepathic chaos. They couldn't control minds directly, but they could broadcast confusion, fear, doubt. The attackers lost coordination, started making mistakes. The Anther node accessed the station's sensor network, tracked every enemy movement, fed information to defenders in real time. A networked consciousness turned the entire station into one awareness. The attackers were fighting blind. The defenders saw everything. Choi Hien led counterattacks with military precision, not trying to kill, trying to capture, disarm, contain. Human tactics mixed with alien support. It worked beautifully. The battle lasted 3 hours. By the end, 12 Renaissance soldiers were captured. 3 escaped back to their ships. The rest surrendered when they realized they'd been outmaneuvered by a force they'd considered inferior. Minji interrogated the prisoners. Used human psychology to break their confidence. You thought cooperation was weakness. That diversity made us vulnerable. But you lost because we worked together. Different species, different abilities, all focused on one goal. That's not weakness. That's strength. One prisoner, a Velcrin named Shalketh, looked at her with respect. You fight well. For a human, we all fight well. Humans, Velcrin, Anther, everyone. That's what you don't understand. Every species has something unique to offer. Intelligence isn't about being superior. It's about using every tool available, every perspective, every strength. Council reinforcements arrived 6 hours later. The Renaissance ships fled. Some were captured. Others escaped to fight another day. But they'd failed. Their attack meant to prove cooperation didn't work. had instead proven the opposite. In the aftermath, Minji stood on Tellus's observation deck. She looked out at the stars. 47 species. Hundreds of worlds. Countless differences. But somehow, they were building something that worked. Not perfect. Not easy. But real. Director Kong contacted her via communication. The Council wants to formally thank you. Again, they're talking about creating a new award. The Interspecies Cooperation Medal. You'd be the first recipient. I don't need medals, Minji said. I need support, resources, trust. Give those to all our agents. Human and alien alike. You'll have them. The Council has approved expansion of joint operations. More funding. More cooperation programs. Your model of mixed species teams is becoming standard across GSC. Kong paused. You've changed things, Minji. Not just for humans. For everyone. After the call ended, Vex Thal found her. His shoulder had healed from when he took the bullet for her. Now he stood as a friend, an ally, a partner in building something better. The Renaissance will try again, he said. So will others. There will always be those who resist change. I know. But there will also be those who embrace it, who see strength in diversity, who choose cooperation over domination. Minji smiled. That's enough. That's what we fight for. They stood together in silence. A human and a Velcrin. Once members of species that barely understood each other. Now friends working toward the same goal. 3 months later, the memorial expanded. New names were added. Defenders of Station Telos who died protecting the depot. Different species. All honored equally. Minji attended the dedication ceremony. Representatives from all 47 council species were there. The council speaker addressed the crowd. We gather to remember those who chose unity over division, who proved that cooperation is not weakness, but strength, who showed us that intelligence comes in many forms, and that respecting those differences makes us all wiser. After the speech, young graduates from various intelligence academies approached Minji. They asked questions, sought advice, wanted to know how to be good agents. Learn from everyone, she told them. Humans, aliens, all species. Each has something to teach. Use logic when logic works. Use intuition when it's needed. Trust technology and trust instinct. The best intelligence comes from combining every method, every perspective, every strength. She looked at their eager faces. And remember, being top of your class means nothing if you can't work with others. Real success is measured by what we achieve together. That night, alone in her quarters, Minji reviewed her journey. From academy graduate to director. From underestimated human to respected leader. The galaxy had changed. Humans had earned their place. But the work was never done. New threats would emerge. New challenges would test them. That was the nature of intelligence work, of leadership, of life in a galaxy of 47 species trying to coexist. She thought about Jin Taekwon again, about his belief that things could change, that the system could improve, that people could choose better. He'd been right. Change was possible, but it required sacrifice, courage, and the willingness to trust others, even when trust seemed dangerous. Minji pulled up her schedule. Tomorrow she'd meet with Anther Collective leaders about information sharing protocols. The day after, a joint training session with Velcrin agents. Next week, a conference on frontier security with representatives from 15 species. Every day brought new challenges, new opportunities to prove that cooperation worked out. She was top of her class once. A young graduate with dreams of changing how the galaxy saw humanity. Now she led an interstellar intelligence agency. Not because humans were better than aliens, not because she was smarter than everyone else, but because she learned that true intelligence meant recognizing value in every form of thinking, every type of mind, every species' unique gifts. The galaxy was safer because humans joined it, but not because humans were special, because everyone learned that different perspectives made them all stronger, that the strange, unpredictable, intuitive human way of thinking complemented telepathy, networked consciousness, and computational precision, that working together, they could solve problems none could solve alone. Minji looked at the stars again. Somewhere out there, new threats were forming, new conspiracies, new challenges. But she wasn't worried, because she had something the primacy never understood, something the Renaissance couldn't comprehend, something that made the Galactic Council truly strong. She had trust in her team, in her allies, in the 47 species who chose cooperation over conflict, in the idea that intelligence, in all its forms, was worth protecting. And that was enough. She was Han Minji, once top of her class, now director of an interstellar intelligence agency. And she was just getting started.